So Neva starts doing this really cool blue blast thing right here to SS3 Goku, and Goku, he doesn't know what the heck Neva's doing to him, and Neva, he ends up going ahead and making him glow. And it's from right here, Goku is transported to what looks like another dimension. And there's only been a few moments in Dragon Ball where transformations have done this. And I think it was here that a lot of us knew, oh snap, is what's about to happen about to happen. And so in this, we get this visual of SS3 Goku being pulled up, and this blue orb surrounds him, starts forming this light here, and we're like, oh snap, what is happening to SS3 Goku? And I guess we get this look inside of what looks to be Goku's body, the ki running through his cells and everything. We've seen stuff like this in the original opening, Chala had Chala, where Goku takes the fist out and then basically, you know, they form that into his hand and stuff like that. And I guess this is going through all of Goku's cells, his bloodstream. We see this blue water effect. Speaking of Chala, head Chala, yeah, that's a whole total reference right there with the hand. And then the hand gets bigger. And then we see smooth skin. And then we see fur skin. And at this point, guys, I was like, oh, let's go. Because I know what was going. We had hoped that it was going to happen, but we needed to see, was it really gonna happen? And right there we see the hair basically go from SS3, and then we get this really cool reddish looking hair that looks like Super Saiyan God. And we see this cool thing like this right here. Reminded me, is this like some reference to Naruto almost at this point, because this really looked like the way the chakra was looking like when the QB, aka the Nine Tails, was sealed away from him. That's what this was reminding me of. Maybe this was Toriyama's tribute to Masashi Kishimoto, who obviously looked up to Toriyama as his sensei. So man, this was getting really intense here. And then we see this this orb right here forms his ball, and once we saw the tail, it was like, there is no denying now of what we are gonna see. There is no denying at all. And we see the eye here, and I was like, yes, look at it. When you saw the eyeliner in there, like, we know what this is. Oh man, when we saw that part, and then we saw the fist right there glowing, and we saw the flames in the air and the big giant explosion, I'm like, yes, I like, give it to us. And boom, big explosion. And I love the fire and the blue, man. The energy was just absolutely on point here. We get like this really cool flame looking air aura, and it's like, oh boy, what is this? Goku's got flames coming out of his mouth, like they were all out of his mouth breathing fire. And I'm like, it is. I was like, those who know the Daniel Bryan / Brian Daniels chants, I was like, yes. And man, how sick was this looking? Oh my gosh, look at the blue energy there. Gomah's like, what's that? And everyone absolutely on point. Even Dr. Arinsu's like, what the heck is this? And Vegeta's like, you got to be kidding me. And Piccolo's like, oh. And from here, Gomah's like, I ain't gonna sit and wait for you for this transformation. He's like, I'm killing you now. And the quickness of how that went from purple into like a supernova. So I wonder if this is kind of reminding me of like Kula when he threw that supernova. And you see, man, this is just looking sick. I love how this demon realm almost looks like Dead Zone, aka the first movie, was it Give Me Back My Gohan, when the Garlic Senior was in his own demon world looking place and everything. So that was just really fantastic to see here. And then from there it ends up going, so you can see right there just how little Goku looks right there. This thing comes in and Gomah's like, I got ya. He's like, oh, and right there's no denying it. We're seeing it, SS4. We know what it was here. And he ends up going ahead and clashing back. And man, this is just looking really sick, really awesome. And I love the glowing red eyes right there. And we get our first look. We're like, it is. We're like, it is. It Super Saiyajin 4. 4, aka Super Saiyan 4, better known in the dub as Super Saiyan 4, looking absolutely awesome. I mean, honestly, more so, he looked more like Gogeta here. And from there, we see the hands, and boom, sends that blast flying right back at Gomah, coming for Gomah, and Gomah is quickly able to get out the way as that blast is sent into the sky, and Gomah's like, ah, and we see it, an all too familiar fur. Boom, we see the gripping of the hands, the tail, there is no doubt the fur, we see the hand, the leg being on point, and then it basically Goku jumps out of frame, and there it is, our first look, SS4 Son Goku, for the first time ever, from the hands of the late great Akira Toriyama. Man, what a moment, what a historic moment for long time Dragon Ball fans. There it is in all his glory, SS4 Goku with some big giant hands, which I'm guessing is done intentional. It was done intentional to look this way, to be more of the primal nature of what SS4 was. And if you look at the way a monkey is, you know, they like, you know, an ape or anything like that, you have the big giant hands there and stuff. I mean, this just justifies English dub Frieza more, when he would always say, "You Saiyans are nothing but a bunch of monkeys." Of course, Frieza at this time was still dead in hell. And look at that ore. Look at the sickness of the ore and the power up. I love it, man. Look at that. That was just so sick. I love they kept the golden aura. The sparks. Look at the sparks. Like, this is sick. Like, this was, man, just what a moment. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. The animation, absolutely on point. The electricity, the thunderbolts coming out of this golden aura, and look how sick my boy Son Goku looks. He is ready on business. Look at that. Man, that was fantastic. Look at that golden gold. The boy's got the shine. And then after the golden aura disappears, we even have like this little cool this blue aura remaining water effect that goes around, and there it is in all his glory. Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. It ripped off his shirt, and even a nice little detail that we get with it, it rips off his belt, you know, the belt that he uses to keep his pants together here. And what's really interesting about Toriyama's design here is it does look more like, because what was it, Nakasuro, I think was his name, the one that made the SS4 transformation, and everything. Let me double check that, fact check that. I'm gonna Google it right now. Who made the SS4 design? Because I think it was, Nakasuru. Kazuyoshi Nakasuru. Yeah, he was the one that designed SS4. And if you've ever all seen like the SS4 drawing that Akira Toriyama did many years ago, this is a little bit more closer to what his version of that looked like in terms of drawing. And what I like is something interesting is that the fur does not go all the way down to the wrist. Instead, it's like halfway up to his forearm. So that was a really cool design choice right there. I'm gonna be honest, do I think it looks as good as SS4, the OG SS4? I felt the black hair kind of gave it a better contrast, but the red ore I think could possibly tie in here to Super Saiyan God, so it kind of works in that sense. But I also hear if you play the Dragon Ball Hero games in Japan, that this is the red coloring shade that they had for those SS4 moments, but overall, still sick design. Really cool to see that this form has such a huge impact on Toriyama, because as many know, and I've said it many times about Dragon Ball GT, I like Dragon Ball GT, but just nowhere near as much as I like Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, and even to a little bit lesser degree, I like Dragon Ball Super better. But GT certainly had great concepts, but poor execution. But one of those great concepts, and clearly by the popularity of it, is SS4. So many people love this form. It was one of the most unique designs to ever come, I think, out of the Dragon Ball franchise. And to see that after decades, because yeah, when did this thing drop? Back in 1996 it was, so we're talking 29 years, 28 to 29 years, almost 3 decades. Man, we get this form, and even Toriyama couldn't help but make it a part of the continuity. But a big huge shout out goes to Akira, who of course was Toriyama's right hand man. He's the one that looked up and saw what the fans wanted, and knew that SS4 was popular despite how many people disliked it, and he was the one that sort of encouraged Toriyama to go ahead and make this a part of the series and everything and stuff like that. Shout out also I want to give to Geekdom 101, who definitely has been the real deal with his sources out there. He hinted at SS4 Goku and everything and stuff like that, sort of saying that he's not going to say anything, but he kind of said without saying anything, like, I won't say anything, but just watch. He never spoiled it, but he's like, just watch. And man, I think a lot of us though kind of figured that this is the direction they're going to go. Interesting choice here, that with this SS4 form, it does not turn him into an adult, and I think that plays a much bigger reason as we continue towards the end of the episode here. But yeah, this is just phenomenal moment. Really enjoyed it. Just absolutely. But I will say, I think I like the story better behind SS4 and GT. Obviously, it's just fan service here, but when it comes to the fighting, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Just as you see, they're like, as they were wanting, like, what else? Like, even I love that even Baby Dente's like, ooh. And Dr. Arinsu's like, oh, like, everyone's shocked of it. He's like, oh, I can't believe it. And Piccolo's like, what powerful key. But what I was going to say is here, when I think it comes to the fighting, for SS4 here, man, I gotta be honest, as Goku's checking out his big giant hands right there, I think this had to be, and you see Neva right there basically looking and just Goku checking his tail out, realizing Gomah right there, but it's like, getting a little nervous. I love the shot here. Goku look at his tail, and he looks over at Gomah, on point, on business, like, Goku, I'm not even gonna try and figure out what this form is. I'm not even gonna try and figure out how I got this power. All I know is that I need this power now, which I think is kind of what it was back in GT as well. He was telling Pan he couldn't figure out what this power was right now and how it works. He knew he's looking, they were trying to make him SS4, but what does it do? He's like, I know it's needed now to defeat baby. And right there, awesome shot. I had to use the thumbnail for this one, and this is really good. And what I was trying to say is that as we get to Gomah getting angry here, and the third eye getting more powerful, and Goku powering up right there, I think what ensures here is, I think, a better fight than I think I've ever seen SS4 in all honesty. SS4 GT, it had some good fights, but I don't think the fights ever reached the level of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. But right here, this is the first time that I felt like I've seen SS4 in a fight that takes me to that feeling that I had in Z.